To find Miles, we started with his source material. One of our biggest goals with Miles was to make his origin feel like it was a comic book come to life. Early on, we discovered line work was not only critical to our aesthetic, but was also an incredibly powerful tool to push Miles' emotional clarity. Several new techniques were made to pull this off. Animators could both pose rigged lines and hand-draw new freeform lines that described acting choices and actions. The effects team created a whole machine learning process to track a library of hand-drawn lines. And the lighting and compositing team created even more tools to further layer line work to shape and describe outlines and edges. We wanted Miles' world to feel as though it was printed in ink and that nothing in it could be soft, including how Miles moved. We tried to avoid the perfection of computer motion. That led us to turning off motion blur and animating on twos. And that decision in turn made it so that we needed to rely on more traditional hand-drawn techniques for smearing motion, such as distorting trailing edges, comic book action lines, multiple limbs, and sometimes simplifying the shape to feel like smeared color in the spaces between poses. To help aid with our graphic look, we even built Miles to have more angularity, so that his silhouette would have more straight lines and the planes of his form could more easily break into blocks of color. His eyes were built to be irregular in shape, and the highlights of his eyes were often hand-animated to look as though they were blobs of paint. Animating on twos freed up all kinds of movement possibilities and equally as many challenges. We had to adapt our performances in different ways depending on how the camera moved. In order for simulations to work with our style, we had to animate so clearly that a parallel version of our scene could be created and then automatically splined for the cloth and hair teams. We developed a new publishing process and tools to allow animators in the cloth team to preview and experiment with twos with the flexibility to make every shot a combination of twos and ones.